Did you know that a single penny in your pocket could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? That's right, not all pennies are created equal. In fact, some Lincoln pennies are so rare and valuable that collectors are willing to pay upwards of $500,000 to add them to their collections. Whether it's due to a minting error, a rare composition, or limited production, these coins are the hidden treasures of American numismatics. In this video, we're diving deep into the top 5 ultra-rare and most valuable Lincoln pennies, coins that have shocked the coin collecting world with their jaw-dropping price tags. From the legendary 1943 bronze cent to the elusive 1958 double die, each of these pennies carries a unique story and an extraordinary market value. This is the legendary, controversial, and almost mythical 1964 SMS Lincoln penny. Only a handful exist. And in today's video, we're diving deep into what makes this coin so special, how it came to be, and how you could potentially spot one. So stay tuned, because this story could turn your next penny find into a $500,000 treasure. Clapperboard. The 1964 SMS penny isn't just a rare coin, it's wrapped in mystery, numismatic intrigue, and a sprinkle of U.S. Mint secrecy. In 1964, the U.S. Mint was under pressure. Coin shortages were spreading across America, especially for silver coins. To ease the crisis, the Mint stopped producing proof sets after 1964 and shifted focus to regular circulation coins. What is an SMS coin anyway? To understand just how rare the 1964 SMS penny is, you have to know what SMS means. SMS stands for Special Mint Set. These are coins made by the U.S. Mint with better-than-average quality. Sharper strikes, cleaner fields, and a more polished finish than regular coins, but not quite as mirror-like as proof coins. They usually have a matte or satin appearance, and they were typically made in limited quantities from 1965 to 1967 when proof sets were suspended. How much is a 1964 SMS Lincoln penny worth today? Round pushpin in 2005. A known example sold at heritage auctions for $48,875. Round pushpin by 2016, another specimen graded SP68RD by PCGS sold for a staggering $94,000. Round pushpin more recently, private sales and market rumors suggest top condition examples have been valued as high as $150,000 to $250,000, and some dealers speculate that the next SP68 or better could cross the $500,000 mark in a bidding war. Let that sink in, a 1-cent coin, worth $500,000. And here's the kicker, since so few are known, the price is expected to climb dramatically the next time one hits the auction block. These coins are the holy grail of Lincoln cents for elite collectors. DNA. What makes it so unique? Physical characteristics. Finish, satin-like, almost matte, not proof-like, but much more refined than a regular strike. Strike, ultra-sharp details, especially noticeable on Lincoln's hair and the wheat stalks or memorial columns. Edges, sharper rims and higher relief than business strikes. No die polish marks. Unlike regular coins, which often have distracting marks, the SMS coins are ultra clean. No proof characteristics, yet the strike is superior to standard circulation coins. They're almost hybrid coins, somewhere between a proof and a business strike. Some experts believe these coins were struck using special dies and higher pressure, possibly as prototypes for what would become the 1965-67 SMS series. And since the Mint never officially acknowledged producing SMS coins in 1964, the few that escaped are now historical anomalies, almost like prototype coins made by insiders. We're diving deep into one of the rarest, most mysterious, and high-value Lincoln cents ever struck, the 1969 double die obverse Lincoln penny. In 1969, the U.S. Mint was still producing Lincoln pennies the old-fashioned way, from a 95% copper composition with a familiar image of President Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. 3 mints struck Lincoln cents that year: Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. The San Francisco Mint is where our rare story begins. Tens of millions of 1969 pennies were minted, and most looked completely normal. But a tiny handful, maybe dozens, or at most a few hundred, came out with a major error that would later shake the numismatic world to its core. In the late 1960s and early 1970s, several counterfeit Lincoln pennies with fake doubling had surfaced. So when a few of these extreme 1969's double dies popped up, officials were suspicious. Some were even seized and destroyed, further decreasing the already limited supply. But after careful examination, it was confirmed, these coins were genuine errors from the U.S. Mint. And suddenly, they became one of the most desirable Lincoln cents in history. Moneybag real auction prices. Let's talk money, because this is what makes this penny truly mind-blowing. Here are just a few real-world sales of the 1969's double die penny. 2007, one example sold at Heritage Auctions for a staggering $126,500. 2014, another sold for $114,000. 2018, PCGS graded MS64RD example hit the market for $126,500 again. Even circulated examples, in VF or XF condition, have sold for $10,000 to $30,000. Think about that, a dirty old penny sitting in someone's pocket change sold for more than a luxury car. Collectors today continue to pay five-figure sums for certified examples. If you were to discover one in a roll or a jar, it could be like winning the lottery. How to identify a real 1969's double die. Now that we've got your attention, here's the $1,000,000, or $100,000, question, what should you look for? Here's your quick checklist to help identify a true 1969's double die. White heavy checkmark, strong doubling on the date, especially the 9 digits. White heavy checkmark doubling on Liberty, clear separation, not a shadow. White heavy checkmark doubling on In God We Trust, some letters show dramatic shifts. White heavy checkmark San Francisco's mint mark is not doubled, because it was punched separately. White heavy checkmark sharp strike with good detail, these were not worn down dies. White heavy checkmark must be authenticated, by a grading company like PCGS or NGC. Warning, warning, many fakes exist, and some coins suffer from machine doubling, which looks like a flat shelf or shadow. True double dies have a more rounded, separated appearance. If you think you have one, don't clean it. Submit it to a professional grader. Why the 1969's penny is so valuable. Let's break down why this coin commands such insane prices. Extreme visual error, the doubling is bold and dramatic. Low survival rate, many were destroyed or lost. What if I told you that a penny from 1971, yes, a humble Lincoln cent with an S mint mark, could be worth up to $250,000, or even $500,000? You heard that right. This isn't fantasy, this is real numismatic history. We're diving into one of the rarest and most valuable coins ever struck by the U.S. Mint, the 1971's Lincoln penny era that few collectors have ever seen. Stay tuned to find out what makes this coin so rare, how to spot it, and why it could turn your spare change into a fortune. The 1971's Lincoln cent was minted at the San Francisco Mint, known primarily for striking proof coins, which are specially made for collectors. Over 3 million proof coins were minted that year, and more than 525 million business strike cents came from Philadelphia and Denver. While most of these pennies are only worth their copper value today, less than 5 cents. Some rare 1971's coins feature astonishing mint errors that make them incredibly valuable, sometimes in the six-figure range. The most valuable 1971's pennies are not your ordinary cents. These are error coins, products of rare mistakes during the minting process. And these errors are not minor. 1971's double die obverse, DDO, proof coin. This is the most well-known and valuable error of the 1971's penny. The double die obverse means the design on the die was doubled before striking, causing visible doubling on the coin. Record-breaking values, how much is it worth? Now, let's talk about what really gets collectors excited, the money. Money with Wings auction prices for the 1971 S double die obverse. In PR 66 red cameo, $7,000 to $12,000. In PR 67 deep cameo, $15,000 to $20,000. In PR 68 deep cameo, top 1% $40,000 to $60,000 plus. Private offers have reportedly gone as high as $100,000 to $150,000 for pristine, ultra-rare specimens. And the rumors don't stop there. Megaphone. Some experts speculate that if a previously unreported high-grade 1971 SDDO with flawless cameo or deep cameo finish hits the market, it could sell for upwards of $250,000 or more, especially if the market demand peaks. Imagine, 1 cent. One flaw. $500,000. What causes the double die error? To understand the value, you must understand the rarity of the error itself. A double die is not the same as machine doubling. A double die happens during the creation of the die itself, when the design is impressed more than once, misaligned, onto the die, which is then used to strike thousands of coins. This means every coin struck with that die will show the same doubling, which is why they are treated as varieties, not just random mistakes. Proof coins versus business strikes. What's the difference? We're diving deep into the astonishing story of the 1981 Lincoln Penny, the rarest errors, the shocking auction prices, and how you can spot one of these tiny fortune makers. Don't blink, because the next coin you look at might just change your life. Let's rewind for a moment. The Lincoln cent, first minted in 1909, has been one of the most iconic and enduring coins in U.S. history. It's more than just copper and zinc, it's a symbol of American heritage, minted in honor of our 16th president, Abraham Lincoln. Over the decades, this humble coin has seen multiple design updates, composition changes, and yes, a fair share of fascinating errors. But 1981, that year stands out. It was the final full year before the U.S. Mint switched permanently from the bronze alloy to a cheaper zinc core in 1982. This transition led to massive production shifts, and, you guessed it, rare, valuable errors slipped through the cracks. And among them lies one of the most coveted Lincoln cent mistakes of all time. The 1981 Lincoln Penny was struck at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. While billions of these coins were produced for circulation, the San Francisco Mint also struck proof coins for collectors. 1981 marked the end of the copper-based Lincoln Penny as we knew it. The U.S. Mint was preparing to shift to copper-plated zinc coins due to the rising cost of copper. These production changes, combined with high-volume output and technical challenges, opened the door to rare, high-value mint errors. 1981 double die obverse, DDO. Only a handful of these are known to exist. That's what makes them so valuable. And when one surfaced in nearly pristine mint state condition, it fetched upwards of $150,000 at auction. If a red book or a grading expert lists another in near perfect condition, we could be looking at $250,000 or even more. 1981 S-Proof Type 1 versus Type 2, valuable rarity. Off-center strikes, broad strikes and wrong planchet errors. For example, a 1981 D penny with a 60% off-center strike in brilliant condition sold for over $2,000. Add a visible date and mint mark, and you're in serious money territory. Wrong planchet strikes. Even rarer are wrong planchet errors, when a penny is accidentally struck on a foreign coin planchet or even a dime planchet. One verified 1981 penny struck on a dime planchet sold for over $12,000 due to its extreme rarity and visible strike details. Auction records and expert insights. A 1981 DDO Lincoln cent in MS 67 red sold for $150,000. High-grade examples could soar up to $250,000 or more, especially if certified by PCGS or NGC. Add the allure of a potential newly discovered DDO variety, and we're talking $500,000 territory, folks. We reveal the shocking truth behind the 1983 D copper Lincoln penny error and how you might just have the next $1 million coin in your possession. To understand why the 1983 D copper penny is so special, we need to look back at a major change in U.S. coin production. In 1982, the U.S. Mint transitioned from making pennies out of 95% copper to a zinc core with copper plating. The reason? Rising copper prices made it more expensive to mint a penny than the coin was worth. By 1983, all pennies were officially supposed to be made of the new copper-plated zinc composition, weighing 2.5 grams instead of the heavier 3.11 grams used for copper cents. But something incredible happened. DNA. So what is it worth? Brace yourself. In 2013, the only known example of the 1983 D copper Lincoln penny was authenticated by PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, as genuine. It was graded MS-63 brown. The coin sold for a jaw-dropping $17,625 in auction. But here's where it gets interesting. Experts believe that if another specimen surfaced, especially in a higher grade like MS-65 plus red, it could easily fetch $250,000 to $1 million. Gemstone: How to identify a 1983 D copper penny. Direct hit: Here's how to check if your 1983 D penny is the rare copper version. Look at the date and mint mark. It must be 1983 D, with a clear D mint mark below the date. Weigh the coin. Use a precision digital scale. A normal 1983 D zinc penny weighs 2.5 grams. A copper penny will weigh approximately 3.11 grams. Use a magnet. It shouldn't be magnetic. Both copper and zinc versions are non-magnetic, but this eliminates steel counterfeit possibilities. Check for damage. If the coin is corroded or altered, weight can be misleading. Seek professional grading. If it weighs around 3.11 g, submit it to PCGS or NGC for authentication. Brain: Remember, cleaning the coin will lower its value. Handle it carefully by the edges and store it in a soft coin holder until it's evaluated. Warning: Only one 1983 D copper penny has been confirmed. But experts believe others might exist, still hiding in private collections, coin jars, or even inside old piggy banks. Why? Because during the hectic composition change from 1982 to 1983, a few copper blanks may have been struck accidentally. Denver produced over 6.4 billion pennies that year. It's easy to imagine a few slipped through. Magnifying glass tilted right.